Hello everyone, welcome back to the Toy Corner. My name is Fett, and today I continue my spiral into financial ruin by adding 5 more figures to the toy shelf. Now we do have a bit of a theme today. Last time the figures that I chose were all representatives of things from my childhood, things from the middle of to where I am now, and things in my old fogey age, which I'm in right now. And well, last time I decided to choose all heroes, which made sense to me, because when I was a child, I idealized heroes. I think a lot of children idealize heroes, but when you grow up or get to a certain age or a certain maturity, whatever you'd like to call it, we all recognize that the real fun is the villains. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get these guys opened up so I can introduce you to the villainous lineup. Much like last time, our first up is our Masterverse figure. Again, from Revelation, we have Skeletor in his box, this very shiny box, Netflix series, Masterverse. And of course, we have that beautiful artwork on the back and on the side, and a nice little blurb, should you care to read it. But toys ought to be opened. And here he is, Skeletor in all his devious glory. He comes, of course, with his Havoc staff here. He's got some nice removable armor here, and a cloth goods cape. I feel like the blue on this figure and the purples that they use to accent it are rather nice, and there are bits of black in there just to really seems to make everything pop. I enjoy that a lot. What I'm saying is I like the look of this figure quite a bit. He's got the hollow eye sockets and that nice skeletal grin. I really enjoy the paint job. I know that I've heard some people say that they prefer it would be more yellowish to be more Skeletor, but I kind of like the more realistic-ish skull look that they went for the paint job. It works for me. Accessories also include the shaping staff. I think that's what it's called. It was from the old 80s cartoon. Again, I didn't grow up with that. Although I did recently watch an episode or two with my son. He quite enjoys it. Out of the box, we have the grippy hand and a punching hand. And then we also have a gripping hand over here that sort of has a pointing finger. And a nice open hand that's great for some spell casting poses. And of course, Skeletor will always look best when posed with He-Man. The fight for Eternia continues. Up next, we have Transformers Premium Finish GE02. Again, it's nothing to see. It's just this box. We'll get rid of this box. Now we can see it's the Premium Finish Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Megatron. And he does have a nice box that displays the toy in many nice ways. But I don't like boxes. And here's our beefy-looking Megatron. You can see from the premium decals that he has seen some battles in his time. And of course, he transforms because I don't buy Transformers that don't transform. If you do, good for you. I just don't. We have a lovely view of the front and the back, some good detail there. We took his weapons off. He has great weapon storage. You have holes here, and probably a few other, here and here, a few other places I haven't seen. Here. There's so many options for weapon storage. For accessories, we have a big, wide, powerful looking sword with some really nice detail. The sword also makes for a nice little handheld gun. And what Megatron would not include the arm-mounted cannon? And of course, Transformers have a transformation, so let's get that done. And here he is as the Autobot-crushing tank that we all know and love, or know and despise, or at the very least, we all know. His weapons fit perfectly together. Inside here, the sword turns into the barrel of the tank, and of course the arm cannon extends and becomes the twisting turret, which I like that they have this twisting feature on there. It's very play-friendly. Got some wheels under there so you can roll. And if you ever take a look underneath, well, hello there, Megatron. The transformation, it is fun, it is easy, but there is a little bit of awkwardness here and there, so I won't say it's as smooth or as good as Optimus, but hey, it's still a great time transforming back and forth, if you don't mind a sore finger here and there. I will say that one thing that throws me off with this figure a little bit is his head not really clipping in by any means. You just kind of have to hold it there and put it there and hope the hinge doesn't wear out over time. It probably will, I imagine, in another 10 years. We're going to see a lot of cheap War for Cybertron Megatrons whose head just stuck down like this, or maybe someone will put something down in there. Who knows? But little nitpicks aside, this is a wonderful Megatron, really fun to handle and play with, and hey, he looks great next to Optimus Prime. Now, when it comes to the villains of Spider-Man, it is hard to pin down just one as his arch nemesis. After all, they've all done quite horrible things to Spidey, but that aside, I did decide to go with the Hobgoblin for two main reasons. Number one, I feel that a friend turned foe always makes for a powerful story, and if anyone is going to be considered up there in the villains list, it's someone that has a positive history with our hero turned negative. Reason number two, and most importantly, this is the one that I owned. So we can see the same Spider-Man, the animated series style card. Flip it over to the back, and we actually do have a cross-sell here. So unlike Spider-Man, we do have a cross-sell. We have the Mark I, Hammerhead, Symbiote, Ben Reilly, and the Shocker. Oh, and hey, look, I wonder where I bought this. But as nice as this card looks, it's time to rip it. Out of the packaging, he is a little bit stiff and hard to stand. He falls over pretty easily. He is a little stiff out of the box, but I really love the colors. The blue and the yellow go really well. The orange pops out, even though it's right against the yellow. It sort of blends together and pops out at the same time. It's rather nice. The grin is very toothy, nice. Villain grin. Takes very good care of his teeth, as you can see. His cape is a soft plastic, maybe a vinyl. I'm not exactly an expert on these things. No extra hands, but I don't really need them. I'm happy enough with the two grippy hands, but he does come with this nice pumpkin bomb. He has a lovely purple bag in which to keep said bombs. There's a glider, which has these holes for his feet, but it really does not stay on there at all. I had higher hopes for this, with the feet slot and everything. It just doesn't clip in, it doesn't hold on. It's very soft, and there's no room in the back, even if you did get them to clip in some way. Look, his heel's holding off the back. They could have just pegged him in. Would have been really easy. They could just had they have the peg holes. They could have just had pegs here and had his feet go on the pegs. Like I say, that's quite disappointing, unfortunately. I really wanted to pose him with this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to without actually gluing it to his feet. An unexpected feature is that his hood actually comes off. This is a fully sculpted head under the hood. That is a nice surprise. This was a bad surprise. Even if he doesn't stand well, if his accessories don't work that well with him, he still works great. With Spider-Man, I'm sure I'm going to get many epic poses out of the two of them, at least when I buy a figure stand. Next up is someone who probably needs no introduction. Is there anyone who does not know the Dark Lord of the Sith who ruled over the galaxy with the Emperor for many, many years? Darth Vader. Now, this series is the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi appearance of Darth Vader, but I have actually seen in stores they now have a New Hope version of Darth Vader, and it appears to me to be exactly the same. Box-wise, it is the standard fare for Black Series. You've got some really nice art on the side, a little blurb about Vader on the back, and not too much more going on with the box, so let's get rid of it. What an incredible Darth Vader figure. Look at this cape. It's incredible. Look how big this is. And the way that it's folded makes it easy to throw back over the shoulders. He has that nice little force choking, force grip, so you can recreate some scenes that way. There's great usage of dark grays and blacks. The buttons really pop out. I mean, this Darth Vader, If I'd had this as a kid, I would have lost it. You have the detailed line work, perfect movie accuracy, the straps going around the back of the leg, the belt and the crotch piece are separate and made of a soft plastic. The joints are a little bit stiff and there's not a lot of range of movement, but I mean, for a Darth Vader figure, that almost works to the figure's advantage. The only accessory he has, the only accessory that he needs, is his iconic lightsaber, and much like with Luke's, the blade is removable. It can take a little bit of fiddling to get him into a two-handed lightsaber stance, but once you get it there, oh, chef's kiss. I think I might have topped it. I think this might be it. I might be okay to call it quits as a toy collector. I think I've got everything I want right here. But more seriously, he looks great next to Luke. They're ready to duel, they're ready to fight, and I'm going to let them get to that because the figures speak for themselves. And now last up, but certainly not least on the list, we have Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates line by Super 7, but this is just a mailer. Let's get rid of it. Next layer, front, back, and let's get rid of it. And finally, we can see the figure through the nice window box. We have the sewer wall decoration again. The blurb on the back, the coloring is a little bit different. It's more of a teal or turquoise, or I don't know what you would call that, aquamarine, you tell me. But that certainly won't do, so we need to get him out of this box. So much opening with these Ultimates, so much. That took some work, but we got him out. I gotta say, I like the detail. I think the skin tone is a nice homage to the old Shredder, including the tons of rippling muscles. In the old figure, it almost kind of made him look like wrinkled, like he had more like a wrinkly skin than a nice smooth skin. So I think this is a good update to it here. We have these soft spikes, which are nice. I don't know how well it's coming across in the camera, but those are a nice sort of a metallic sheen to them. The blue and the purple all looks very good. The updated helmet, and of course we have this cape here, which if we take this little belt off, you can see that is a fully wired cape. It's cloth goods, and I would love to compliment Super 7 for this, but I don't know if you can see it poking out there, but my wire broke. So I might be looking for a replacement cape for this guy, but in the meantime, I'm going to have to be careful not to poke myself. I mean, it's broken. I don't know if you can see that. But it's broken in like 3 places. It's not great. But as luck would have it, we do have the option for a soft plastic cape to replace the cloth one until I can get a replacement for my somewhat pointy cape. There are some repeat accessories with this figure, but Shredder does have a katana, although using the same mold, has its own paint job separate from Leonardo's. We can compare the two later. But he does have the triangular pointy weapons that Leonardo came with, as well as this hook weapon and 2 of his own throwing stars. 2 punchies that he can raise to the sky in anger. I'll get you, turtles! As well as 2 open hands for some dynamic martial arts posing. And he of course comes with an alternate head that has his skin and his eyebrows painted on the helmet, just like the old vintage toy does. I think this is a good head option, but to be honest, I would have been perfectly happy just to have this update, and maybe a unmasked version, or a version without the mask and the helmet, just to see what Super 7's take on Oroku Saki would have been. And of course we have the classic unpainted weapons rack that I won't be using for anything or displaying him with. Once again, I absolutely love this line of figures, but it does seem like the quality assurance, quality control is just not exactly up to where it should be for these being $55 figures. And sure, when they first came out they were $50 figures, but I still think that If they just tweaked a few things, they could have made these $30 figures. I know I'm going to be a broken record about that, but that's just how I honestly feel about this whole thing. But don't let that fool you, I still absolutely love this guy and will add him to my toy shelf ASAP, but first. But of course I can't possibly end this without first having Shredder next to Leonardo. What a scene, what great characters, what amazing figures. So I had to cheat a little bit with Hobgoblin there, but I got him on the glider, it counts. But there you have it, the first 5 villains to be added to my toy shelf. I'm so happy with these figures. Each one is amazing in its own way. They're all just so delightful. And thank you for taking this next step in my journey in becoming a toy collector. Make sure to take care of yourself, take care of each other. Just take care.